Right.
Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Sunday, September 27th, 2015. Ra and Black Wolf here in the Lynn-Body-Mind, Pan and a little bit of Black Wolf in the Jamie Body-Mind as well. Other teammates in other aspects of the physical dimension, all of us in the physical dimension and in the subatomic from the perspective of the spirit world.
That's true.
We have a number of things on the table. It's hard to know exactly what we're supposed to do for the videoed portion of this morning's effort, so we're going to go with the non-directive focus, which is to do what is ours to do right now, in all dimensions right now, to manifest the divine plan, in other words, to trigger the awakening. The data most clearly showing that's what's needed is to provide a collective restart right now. And with that, it begins. Now may we be of service right now to provide a collective restart right now.
Well,
we still have on the table what's been left undone from this morning's work.
that's true.
We began to work with what seems to be a mass migration of higher souls
That's true.
into their lower souls who are already in the physical dimension. And this is good. This is good in that it's important to get started somewhere.
That's true.
Now, it's not good in that the data has clearly shown that that's a bad plan, in that it makes it worse for the lower souls and for the physical lives rather than better.
That's true.
It's like a general showing up in Afghanistan saying, "Aren't you lucky I'm here?" and walking down dangerous streets, and the soldiers, boots on the ground, saying, "Sir, you
Sure.
don't want to go down that street."
That's true.
And that's what's happening now, and it's happening on a pretty big scale.
That's true.
And this is not good. What do we know? We know that we're each doing this.
That's true.
We saw me, Ra, the disaster that was me coming in as an individuated presence without melting down.
That's true.
And how upon melting down it took maybe a day to 2 days to get back in the groove.
That's true.
And then what seems to have happened is that there seems to have been another wave of bringing souls out of the spirit world into the physical, but they're all coming in individuated presences by and large, or 99.99% of them, I'd say,
I'd say
seem
that's
to be,
true. That's true.
rather than melting down in advance, and therefore their lower souls are suffering. Betty
That's
Jean
true.
looked sick. Glenn has been acting definitely his
Out
worst.
of sorts.
Yeah,
That's true.
worse self, not better self. Pan acting definitely
Worse self.
Worse self.
That's true.
Black Wolf not at his
Not
very
at his best. That's true.
Asha definitely not at her best. Paul looking rocky.
Rocky, shaky.
Shaky.
That's true.
Everywhere people are suffering, and these are of course just the people on the leadership team.
That's true.
Everybody who's in the physical, the spirit world presences, I see, they all look really green around the gills, or
That's
much the
true.
worse for wear.
That's true.
What now? What now?
Well, I know that the most effective place is to be in the seat of the one who is making the mistake, to affiliate ourselves with the higher soul individuated presences.
Yes, so friends, for all of us to do that right now, all of us to relate to life right now from the perspective of the drop-in soul. Come closer, friends. Souls who have dropped into the physical within the last week. Come closer. I start to feel a crowd forming. Come closer, friends.
Come closer, friends.
Souls who have dropped into the physical during the last week. Who here is having adjustment difficulty? Show
Big
of hands.
All the
Right.
hands up.
I believe all of our hands are up.
That's
Mine
true.
is too.
Mine's up too.
My hand is
That's
up.
true.
So we know a technique that actually works.
That's true.
And what do I know? I know that in the years of energy healing practice, that this body-mind facilitated from the library. There are records of discovering soul fragments that had hidden themselves inside the energy body.
That's true.
Of the life form she was working with back then, whether humanoid or canine,
right, that's true,
or equine or something else.
That's true.
And that those soul fragments were still retaining their individuated presences and were holding on to all the wounds that had caused them to split off from the oneness of their soul in the first place. And the deep healing came from them releasing the sense of separateness and instead claiming the sense of oneness with that whole soul.
That's true.
So what do I know? I know that we're actually working to be one with the all that is, each of us with each other, but this work begins where we are.
That's true.
And to start here. So friends, who would be willing to become one with the rest of the soul that you have moved into? Those of you who are willing, come over here. And those of you who don't see that as a viable option for yourself, over there, so we'll see what we have to work with. And so I'll just, for now, who volunteers to just keep these people happy with playing patty cake or something? The people who don't see it as a viable option.
Might be Asha.
I think Asha is going to lead them in patty cake or sing-along songs, ring around the rosy, baby games.
We'll play games.
We'll play baby games because that's the level that we're working at, and that's okay.
True.
It's okay. I see actually some people don't like that, and they want to come over and sit in this group. But listen, friends, we're doing it for real here, so we actually don't want you if you're just going to come. It's much better for you to go play patty cake and sing Ring Around the Rosy.
Duck, duck, goose.
Yeah, play duck, duck, goose. Do something. Go away.
That's true.
Go away. We've dealt with enough fakers, and I know what fakery smells like, and that smells like fakery. Go away.
That's true.
Now, friends, those of us who see that becoming a oneness with the rest of our soul might in fact be a beautiful gift. Let's talk about this for a minute. Who has ever felt a oneness with a group, a real sense of camaraderie? Maybe during a sing-along, a kirtan, for example, or a dance.
Yes. I see hands up. My story is all the hands are up.
My story is, if not all of them, then most of them are up.
That's true.
This sense of oneness. Shout out, how did it feel?
Great. It felt like I was a part of something huge and beautiful, and that made me feel huge and beautiful, and also very small in a good way.
Like singing in a choir.
Yes, like singing in a choir.
Or dancing.
Running in a really big group.
Yes. So that is how it feels to become part of a greater collective. And now start to become aware of the presence that we ourselves have dropped into. Let's just do this as an experiential exercise, all of us.
Yes.
Begin to feel where we have dropped into and start to notice other aspects of the, quote, committee of us.
Yes.
Who are sharing the physical form, whatever physical form you're in, or sharing the soul presence, whatever soul presence you're in. Does that make sense?
I don't hear any questions.
Call out. How does it feel? Feels like coming home.
Yes.
Feels comfortable. I like these people.
I like these people.
I have a lot in common
here.
Yes.
Yeah. There's one guy in the back who says, I don't like this.
Well, it's okay. Why don't you go over to that other group? Please go over to that other group.
That's true. Duck Duck Goose is over there.
Yeah, that's right. Please go over there. Anybody who doesn't like this...
Raise your hands if you don't like this.
This is the wrong room for you, because this is what we're doing here.
That's
and
true.
you don't have to like this, and we're not saying this is for you. Go over there. Asha is keeping you busy.
That's true. Duck Duck Goose is over there.
We'll come to that room after we deal with these people.
That's true.
These people are the leaders.
That's true.
And so we're going to work with them. That feels better. So friends, really notice that sense of oneness with that small group, the group of you as a soul presence, you who dropped in and all the other yous,
yes.
all your lower souls.
Yes.
Notice them and start to, it's like opening our hearts. It's like all of us opening our hearts to the rest of us who are like us. And opening the hearts not just in the front but in the back. Opening especially the back of the hearts. And then as if you could back into each other, backing up, begin the process of merging with yourselves. Backing up until we start to become like superimposed beams of light. Rather than 20 flashlight beams, it looks like 10 flashlight beams and 5 flashlight beams and 2 flashlight beams, and finally, for each of us, for our own soul, 1 flashlight beam, 1 beam of light. How is this exercise, friends?
The majority of the group seems to feel pretty good. There's 1, maybe 2, who say they don't feel like they belong with the other fragments that they're trying to merge with, and they're starting to feel bad about it.
It's very possible that you are not in your right place. This can happen. We can get confused about it.
That feels
so
true.
Why don't you lift up a little bit so that you have a bird's eye view, and then kind of feel for your right place. See if you can find it. Oh yes, you're just in the wrong place. There you go. There you go.
Someone feels like they're in their right place, but also doesn't feel like a oneness. I feel like I'm supposed to be here, but the merging isn't going well. What do I do?
Often there is some idea that we need to let go of. So see if you can feel with your hands the belief that is preventing oneness for you, and just pick it up as if it were a rock or a boulder.
There we go.
And just pull it on out and send that up for recycling. Now friends, start this swishing up and down the pillar of your own energy body for you and all the rest of your soul. It feels similar to reallocating resources. It's like waves of water over sand, so that the water all settles in somewhere, so that there's nothing left dry, that everything is filled with soul presence. And now start to vibrate a little bit and start to raise the temperature, melting together even more deeply. And show of hands if this feels good to you. And
all the hands seem to be up.
Yeah, all hands seem to be up. Very good. Now start to, as if you could pull a string at each end, and pulling the strings away from each other gets a top to spinning.
That's
the
true.
Top of us. Each of us as individuals spin a top. By pulling the strings away from each other, get your top to spin, and this acts as a way of stirring the batter of us, so to speak, so that we're homogenized.
That's true.
More of a oneness. It should be feeling better and better and better and better. And now start to stretch longer, this top of usness. Stretch longer, becoming long and thin, like a tube through which the divine wind can blow. How's it feeling?
Really good.
It's a surprising statement made through the Dalai Lama here on planet Earth.
That's true.
Many years ago. He was asked in an interview what matters most in the spiritual path, and his response was surprising to many.
That's true. The company you keep.
The company you keep. But if we look at it energetically, it actually makes an awful lot of sense.
That's
because everybody is vibrating to certain frequencies, and when we are near someone who is vibrating loudly, our vibrations will begin to match theirs, and this is helpful if their vibration is helpful.
That's true.
And hurtful if their vibration is hurtful.
That's true.
So the company that we keep matters a lot. Staying with others who have just merge with their own souls will make it easier for your energy to set in this new configuration. You have softened yourself, you have blended yourself with you, you've become one with other aspects of yourself, and now your energy needs to set that way for this to be most helpful. So we recommend that you just stay here and stay here for a period of time in this room with others like you, stretching, 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 and then to begin to work, because this is a training ground. You're in an educational facility.
That's true.
But it's run by volunteers. We're all volunteers here.
That's true.
And you too can choose to stay here and become a volunteer if you wish. If you don't want to volunteer, then you will be asked to leave as soon as you have set up, or when it starts to look like you aren't going to set up.
That's true.
Who among the volunteer community has noticed how it feels and would like to speak to that?
Yeah, there's a Nature Realms presence saying it feels really great. It feels really good to give back, and I learned so much by doing it.
Yeah. So you'll be welcome to stay if you wish. But what matters most is that if you stay, you work. This is a working pillar. We all work.
That's true.
We come here in a search for truth. We are supposed to take the films of what just occurred and distribute them for other groups to see. There will be others who will be inspired and will want to voluntarily melt themselves down.
That's true.
But at the end of this film, we're going to have to make an announcement in that meltdowns are going to happen. It is going to happen, and we have lots of different ways of coming at this, but it's going to happen because that is what the situation calls for. That's the assignment given to us by wiser minds above.
That's true.
And so it's going to happen. And so the faster we do it, the better it feels. And the more joyful the process is. We can stretch it out, struggle and fight, and make it miserable, but it's still going to happen.
That's true.
And so to seize the gifts of it, find joy in it, and be a leader. So we just take Asha and that entire room, and we just deposit them back at the project.
That's true.
Thank you, Asha.
Thank you, Asha.
And my story is Asha wants to go back to the project so that she can pick up where she left off. She's got a big job going on over there.
That's true.
Thank you, Asha, and we'll just pick up that whole room and put them back at the project. They aren't interested in what's true. They just want to do what they want to do. This isn't their right place.
That's true.
That feels better.
That does feel better.
To me, it feels like that spaceship is in really deep space.
That's true.
Nothing
just
around.
Darkness all around.
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
like between galaxies.
Yeah, that's true.
Feels good.
Very cool.
Peaceful.
Very peaceful. Quiet.